Welcome back to Ill Ego Culture Brands Talk. I am your host, John Ostos, aka Ill Ego CEO, and I am here with my two counterparts, Dion 2 Cup Larry.
I got 2 cups today.
And this other guy over here is Cody Big Meat Milk.
That's a new one. I haven't heard that one before.
I know one big thing we should talk about today is Cody did announce the gender of his baby.
Yeah. One boy, one girl.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'd say that's some sharpshooting.
That's the American dream right there.
Yeah, just a boy and a girl. That's all I ever every male wants is a boy and a girl.
And you had the boy first. Why did you have the boy first?
Well, it wasn't really my choice.
What's your reasoning though that why this is the best way to do it?
God did.
did. Yeah. Let's go golf.
Well, at least we know that Roman's gonna be a little older, so he'll be the big brother. But then I said that to Woods, and Woods is like, no, your daughter's gonna be the fucking she's gonna be the protector. Yeah.
That's Amelia to her 3 brothers, bro, and they're all hella older than her.
Yeah. So we'll see what kind of temperament this one has.
Do you have a list of names picked out?
Yeah, we got a name. We got a name ready.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is it?
Shira.
Stay tuned.
I thought you just say Stacy.
Stacy. No,
I was like, that's pretty basic.
Better believe.
I will say it goes along with Roman's name, so it'll fit perfectly with
Romania.
Athena. I don't even know who that is, but I know it's that is
like goddess of war, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Medusa.
Oh.
That would be a weird. I hope it's not that, but I mean.
Have you seen the conspiracy theories around Medusa?
And
that they say she was black and that they're making fun of her hair and shit, and that's why.
Oh my!
Yeah, like that she was actually a black woman, and so they obviously back then they were racist too, and they painted her to be this ugly, horrible monster and shit because she had black hair, bro.
Yeah,
I'm like, come the fuck on already.
Yeah,
man.
I thought Medusa was actually a really attractive lady, or was supposed to be an attractive lady, and
she had a curse put on her or something like that.
Yeah,
that is.
I think it was an attractive lady.
Yeah,
that is.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I'm not. So what is it then? What does it rhyme with?
Anyways,
as long as it's not Aphrodite, bro.
we forgot to bring it up on the last one, but so all 3 of us had guessed who the Democrat nominee is going to be for the primary, right?
And
so
I switched it.
Yeah,
Can't
remember
switch.
No,
I switched
back
from
then
because I did
you went to RFK.
You said Michelle.
Yeah.
You said RFK, and I said Gavin Newsom. So
Grothy commented on the video, and he said the same thing. It's gonna be Big Mike.
It probably is, but I want to do so each of us have a horse in the race.
So if we all lose, what happens?
Ooh, I guess we all get. So what we're gonna do is
we're doomed.
The loser gets a pie in the face, and I said not a cream pie.
But there's gonna be 2 losers.
There's gonna be 2 losers, so
yeah.
both losers get pie in the face, and winner gets to do it.
Fair
So
enough.
that we'll find that out probably this spring.
Yeah.
Probably this spring. It'll be the primary.
Nope.
So what happens if we all lose though? There has to be something.
Then Kayla can pie the face. Or the 3 wives or women can pie the face.
That would be a good idea.
We'll bring them in to
right.
pie our faces.
Get our faces cream pie. Okay.
Cream pie.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right.
On camera.
They say sex sells, and so that's what that
Dion
the
loves
title
cream
will be.
pie.
I'm gonna wear my GoPro for a little POV.
Anyway.
Hell yeah.
On to today's topic.
Hold on a second, Dion. You posted something in the chat that I want to get to.
Just the last thing that I posted?
Yeah, the California city considers granting illegal immigrants the right to vote.
For local.
Wasn't that already passed in New York? Was that New York that they did that?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I could have swore it was another state, but that like you said, that checks out because.
But it's just for local voting, obviously, not for like presidential voting.
Now, I mean,
at the moment, yeah.
Even still though, bro, like it's a setup.
Yeah,
I mean, setup.
It's how can you run for governor?
Right. It's funny. Yeah,
I read somewhere that there's over like 10 million migrants in America as of right now since
that's crazy.
Joe Biden took office, bro.
Yep.
I saw a
10 million, bro. That's called was it you who posted it even?
An invasion.
Yeah, that was a straight invasion, bro.
Mm-hmm. And they're still coming. They're still coming.
Yeah, wide open, bro.
I think you posted or I saw a post at least. It said Donald Trump was saying, if I come back into office, it's gonna be a complete removal of any migrants that came in while I was out. So
NBC had
that's how they're gonna paint him bad guy when he's in office again.
Well, they're already doing it because they're saying like, "Oh, that's so racist," and everybody's like, "Wait, what?" He wants to boot out all the illegal immigrants. Like, yeah, come in legally. Get those people out. Come in legally.
I remember in it must have been like 96, 97, somewhere around there when they did in California. I believe it was called Proposition 187, and it was Bill Clinton who had mandated that illegal immigrants were no longer allowed to work here and go to school, and they were deporting them all. Yep. So like where I live, man, it was hella like Mexicans, bro. They were getting deported on a daily basis, and like we were striking at our school and like leaving and walking the city and all the shit against Proposition 187 and all that. When I say we, I didn't technically, not because of political reasons, but I just didn't give a fuck about anything at that time. You know what I mean? But I hopped the fence to act like I was gonna go, and we went and partied or some shit. I'm sure you know. But like I just remember it being
with the vatos.
But I remember it being like this big thing. You know what I mean? That this was happening, and it was during Clinton's era.
Yeah, I remember.
But now the Clintons of all people will be the first ones to attack Trump for doing this, forgetting that Clinton did this shit in the 90s, bro. Mm-hmm. Like I remember like it being mayhem during this entire like election year because of this proposition. Yeah. And then afterwards, I remember it being so bad because we were seeing people we knew, their families, being broken up and being deported, especially because we're at the border of San Diego right there. So there was a whole bunch of illegals in that area, man. Yeah. But they were in school, they were, making a living already, they had jobs and shit. And the next thing you know, snatching them up. Yeah. And then people were getting fined, like construction workers, because they hang out on the sides of the streets and shit, looking for work and shit. And they'll just jump in your truck for $20, move your whole house in an hour, and go back out there, bro. Mm-hmm. Like that's how down they were. And I remember those guys, like they had immigration running the streets like cops and shit too, because they were arresting those who's chasing them, and you know what I mean. Like these guys, they be running like la migra, and that's like the immigration, and they're just running the streets screaming, and you see all these Mexicans scattering everywhere, bro. And these green and white fucking like police cars flying through the city, bro. Yeah, it was the craziest time. But now here Trump's doing it, and they want to paint him to be the most horrible human being in the world, and it's the very people who once did this before, which is Clinton. So, but that's crazy.
One thing people have a failure to understand, I guess, anybody that would be against this just doesn't understand. It's not just freaking families, like peaceful families coming across the border. That's there's everything.
This isn't about race. This isn't a racism thing. No. Yeah. Every country, every nation in the world is protected by its borders, except for ours. Yeah. And people are coming from every nation in the world right now, but from all the bad places, bro, and our enemies' places.
Look at freaking Canada. They got a border, a border from the United States and Canada, and it's a bitch to get across. Yeah. Even from being a United States citizen, it's still a bitch getting across.
Mm-hmm. We gotta go through immigration and security and checkpoints to go to any of these people's countries. Yeah. But for them to come here, it's a wide open gate, and no one's vetting who's coming through or what they're doing. Yep. But we're getting people from Venezuela, we're getting people from China, we're getting people from Cuba, we're getting people from all these hardened places, bro. And it's all young youth men and military aged guys that are coming over, and there's just a lot of riffraff that's going on in there. But every country is protected by borders. Yeah. And we're the bad guys for wanting one. Yeah. But look what's going on in our country right now, man. It's crazy. Right. It's crazy. Homelessness is at an all-time, and we're welcoming, immigrants in right now and just giving them a free-for-all. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, no, it's not about that you shouldn't come over. It has nothing to do with race. They should be able to come over, if they just do it the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I get that there's, I always hear there's people, who are struggling. They need to get out of their, countries because it's really bad and they don't have ways to come over the proper way and stuff. And it's just like, that sucks. But us too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like I'm saying I don't care. I'm just saying, okay, that sucks. That really sucks. But can we address what's in our backyard first? And then we'll save the world. But like first, let's save our backyards. Because it's turning to hell right now. And by adding to it right now, it's worse. Louis Marco just posted the Somalians are all being dropped off in Italy right now. The streets of Italy are flooded with just random Somalians walking all over the place because they don't really have anywhere to go. Weird. So there's Roman streets all over in Italy, and he's just like, how he's real sarcastic with his posts and stuff. And he's just talking about how the Italians must be loving it, and just, these dudes are just all over the streets, just chilling, bro, like from another country. And it's Italy, it's supposed to be this fancy little place. And that they got a bunch of people, running around with nowhere to go because they're not helping these people. They're just like, here, just go here. We'll drop you in the middle of the street somewhere and now go find your life and for yourself. Well, guess what? The majority of these people are going to end up homeless, on drugs, or, fucked up or killed or who knows what, bro. But they don't have resources right out the gate. They're just being left to fend for themselves in these foreign countries. And it makes no fucking sense to do that to them. You're not helping them.
Right.
So it's crazy, man.
Yeah, that shit's wild.
Yeah.
And this is just the little bit of what's going on right now leading into the election watch.
Yeah.
Did you see the Allegiance to Liberty post or whatever? They said that that Joe Biden's trying to sign another bill to
$23 billion.
Get them, get Ukraine more money.
So do you guys know how much we've sent over there to date?
I mean, we looked it up
Roughly,
and it wasn't realistic.
It's a few trillion.
So I've heard a more accurate number. It's not trillion.
Not trillion yet. Hundreds of billions.
Take a guess.
All right, I'll say like 80 billion.
Okay.
I would say it's got to be like 120 billion.
135 billion.
Damn.
130 to date.
Damn.
So, and then,
bro, we could have solved hunger in America and got all the homeless people off the streets for a quarter of that.
I was listening to another Joe Rogan, but he had Tulsi Gabbard and BJ Penn on his podcast, who are both residents of Hawaii, and they said that out of all of the residents that were burned and all the people that lost their homes, it would cost roughly $6 billion to rebuild all their homes. $6 billion, but they gave them $700 and said, "Good luck."
That's crazy.
But we've sent $135 billion to Ukraine so far.
Yeah.
And they want $23 billion more to go over there.
Tell me your government has been infiltrated without telling me your government has been infiltrated,
that is
bro.
so fucked up.
Yeah.
We're fucked, bro. Like the fact that people think this is a normal thing to be watching, or that, the smoke will clear soon and it'll be different. It's like, no, you're not paying attention to what they're doing to this, nation, bro.
We left like 70 something billion dollars worth of equipment in Afghanistan when we pulled out too. And so
meanwhile, other nations are turning their back on America as a currency, as a world power, all these different things, bro. And we're just ignoring that.
But the thing that
we're so distracted by the nonsense.
You guys realize, I'm sure you do, but so that's our tax dollars being shipped overseas, right? Mm-hmm. But not just Ukraine. Like they fucking finance these bills that they come out with, and they ship millions and millions to other countries for some bullshit. I remember was that a couple of years ago they had
just laundering
Pakistani gender studies or something for $70 million.
That was in the COVID bill.
Yeah. So they do that all the fucking time. Yep. But that's our money. That's our money going there. Mm-hmm. Now imagine if they didn't take as many taxes out of your paycheck, how much more wealthy you would be.
A lot.
If they didn't waste all of that money or launder all that money, how much money that you would have in your pocket right now. Right. So they're taking maybe $300 to $500 every paycheck that you have, and you add that up since you've had a job.
Then you go spend your money and pay taxes on
that again. That's wild. And then you buy a house to pay taxes on that.
On the fucking on the lottery, you pay taxes on the lottery if you win.
Yeah,
and it's a huge fucking chunk.
A lump sum is like almost half.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy,
and that goes back to the government.
Yeah,
the government.
Speaking of, there's a huge Powerball out right now.
Is that North Dakota?
Like 700 million.
I think so.
Yeah, I was thinking about buying a ticket. I heard that.
I don't do that. I think that's
buy
so
them
stupid.
I buy them on Jackpocket. You can buy them right from your phone.
Are they paying you?
No. That's just where I buy them at.
You buy them on your phone?
Yeah.
What would you do?
So like you buy them and then they go and they physically buy the ticket. Really? And then they send you a picture of the front and the back of it and load it into your app for you.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah. And the only thing they take is the service fee of when you buy them. If you win, your earnings are 100% yours. They're signed up with the lottery legally. Like it's an app they created for it.
You know, that I don't know. That just sounds sketchy.
I mean,
it does, doesn't it?
Welcome to the digital age, bro. Get caught up.
I guess.
What would be the first thing you would do if you won that 700 million?
700 million? I don't know.
Just pop up like 8 gyms.
Yeah, probably. I would make it appear that my success comes from this instead of that.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Nice and slow.
Yeah, just because I don't, bro. The people that'll come hounding
I was
me.
gonna say.
Fuck. No thanks. Like, I wouldn't tell anybody, but it would be a little known. Something happened. You know what I mean? But I'll be able to be like, nah, man. Business is. I mean, you can make.
He's got like the biggest house in West Fargo.
you can make any business thrive with enough money. You know what I mean? So just blow the businesses up, bro, and make everyone believe your money's coming from that.
Right.
Then they don't think you got as much as you do.
Yeah.
I would definitely give a lot away though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 700 million, I'd probably give a couple $100 million away. Like easy, like I mean away, like family and all that I'll take care of, but like strangers, bro.
Yeah.
A couple $100 million, I just
be like Steve will do it.
Yeah, shit, like but I mean, just like randomly, just
I love that. Like
not 100 million to like 2
donate
people,
to shelter.
Like, you know what I mean? But like take that 200 million and just do all kinds of crazy freebie shit. With it, bro.
I mean,
like,
you give a person $1,000 close to the 30th, and that can make their whole
for sure,
like 2 months at that. So
I'd want to do cooler shit than that though, for sure. With that kind of money, why not, bro? Steve don't even got that kind of money, and he does it.
He does it. He did do it.
He does it big.
Yeah.
You know, another dude that I've seen is that was Epic, dude. That Juan guy. He does like fucking pranks and stuff sometimes too. But like lately, he's been going around he must have made a shit ton of money. He's got 10 million followers on Facebook. Yeah, but this guy literally goes around just giving away thousands of dollars.
I love to see that, especially
like he'll go to
college, like young dudes too.
Well, that's what Mr. Beast does.
And
like,
Dobrik,
he fucking
yeah, he gives away more money than anybody.
Yeah, he said he like gives away the majority of his earnings.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, like his Beast Burger is all giveaway money. We have one of those here, I think, at Perkins. Here. Yeah.
What? You can order it there?
Yeah.
It's
that's what his restaurant
burger,
concept is.
Yeah.
His restaurant there's more than burgers on it though.
Yeah.
But like his restaurant concept
it.
is literally like instead of building a restaurant, he sold the business like model to other already existing restaurants that have the means to make his stuff. And so now like if you wanted to order Mr. Beast burgers on like what is it, Uber Eats or anything like that, you can go in there and it actually comes from Perkins, but it comes with like the Mr. Beast packaging and shit.
Okay.
My boys did it on one of their podcast episodes one time here.
Oh, was it?
I don't know. They said
I heard it was actually pretty shitty.
I was gonna say it's just a burger from Perkins.
All it is a Perkins, but you put his wrapper on it, bro, and the concept
burger.
is sold. But that's why he gives it away. He knows his value, bro.
Yeah.
He's like, my money's worth something. My name is, so like put my name on it and sell the same burger.
That's awesome stuff. And like him fixing like people's vision for a while and stuff like that. That's like,
and he got fucking in trouble for that.
What would you do?
What?
With 700 and some mil?
Oh.
Okay, let's say if you just take lump sum after taxes, you got like 400 and something.
400?
Yeah, you got like 450, let's say.
Well, I would take care of my people first.
Yeah.
And then I think we
did talk about this a little bit.
I would build a shelter, a big shelter, like a big fucking like a fucking country club for animals.
Oh shit.
And then if there's anything else around my community that needs doing, I would help out. But I would definitely buy a fucking place somewhere warm.
Yeah.
Bounce back to.
Where?
Somewhere to take your private jet back and forth with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where? I'd probably have a place.
Don't say Zona. See,
I haven't really explored Texas, so I can't see Texas. I've been to Florida quite a few times. Florida's awesome, but it's fucking hot.
Texas is like that though.
Texas isn't as humid though.
dry heat.
Yeah, the humidity in Florida is what's
It's
gross.
nasty.
Yeah,
You can just the
It's so
sweat
bad.
the sweat is just freaking.
I remember me and Kayla went there for Marshall's meet one
Yeah.
time, and we were in Orlando, and bro, it was too hot to go to the fucking pool.
Yeah,
It was so nasty. Like
Yeah.
it was, you could walk through like a wall of air. It was so
Yeah.
thick and hot
Yeah.
there, bro, and humid.
you see the
Like you
water
step
just
out,
boiling.
yeah, we step outside and we're just like, fuck no, man. Went right back inside of the AC.
Just
bro.
smells like mold.
yeah, it was so nasty,
thick ass
swampy,
air.
bro.
That's
Yeah.
gross.
Swampy.
Yeah, Texas is different though. That sun feels like it's so close to you. Like I went out there last year and I was feeling like I was burning. Like so it's nice out there though. And I've only been to like the more oily field type places. So
What about you, D?
I would I don't know, because I couldn't hide it, so I just had to ball out, you know.
dude,
He would drake out so hard on.
dude, he would be the guy that goes broke within like 2
I got
years.
ball out.
He would buy his own airplane and put his name on it and shit.
Jet Dion, yeah.
Isn't that fucking crazy that people that win usually fucking
They blow it
they
off.
blow it?
Yeah, they
That's
do. Like that.
insane.
That's true.
Like statistically, because it's like
They're not
it's
used
like,
to it.
Yeah,
They don't
it's
know
that
what
theory.
how
They
to-
don't know how to handle that shit, bro. They had a plan to win it, but not a plan to keep it. You know what I mean? Like you can spend that kind of money when you're that rich. You believe you're that rich.
Yeah.
And what you forget is that that's not like ongoing revenue coming in. That's how much you have, and then it's gone when it's gone. So the more you spend it, the less you have.
So I'd probably put it all away and then just have like a
Live off interest, bro.
live off a yearly salary that
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
give myself.
That's, I mean, you can request that, I think, through the Powerball as well as you just do
Payments,
sums, yeah.
But then you die, and that money goes back to them.
yeah, to them.
So what you do
And
is
you can also accrue
take
money,
out you get a lump sum through like a trust. So no one knows who won the lotto. The trust makes the claim for you, and then they open a bank account that you get the access to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how you do it for sure.
Yeah.
That way you could be anonymous.
Did you
let you
see
know.
that? Did you see that one where
Hey, my fee will be very low for you to help me do that, bro. Just so you know.
Did you see that one where the guy he won the lottery off of a scratch off or something like that, and he brought his the news wanted to film him doing exactly what he did, right? So they're filming him.
Oh, and he won again.
He won again.
Yeah, I seen that, bro. I seen that shit.
Yeah, it happened a long time ago, but
Yeah.
he's like, I just won again. He's just like shocked. He
That
won
would be
twice.
wild.
Yeah,
He
it was
won
like
twice.
a couple $100,000 or something like that.
Yeah,
though, wasn't it?
really?
Like twice
Yep.
back to back, bro.
Yep.
If I won
Yeah.
like 40 grand, I'd be like, I'm gonna go get a brand new truck. You
You just spend it all on one thing.
That'll be it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you'll blow your
Just the
millions
dumbest
for
thing
sure.
ever. Yeah.
Dion's like, I don't care. I'm too young. I just-
Yeah. I honestly don't even need it. Like, whatever.
If I win it once, I could do it again.
Yeah. Dude, what goes
fucking
around
weird.
comes around. That's what they
Yeah.
say. You know, gotta spend money to make money.
Yeah.
Fucking no.
A couple years later, you and your boys are fucking pawning your jewelry off because you're broke. You're like, I bought it for you guys. Come on,
dude. I need this money.
Let me just get the rollie. Let me get the rollie and I'll earn it back.
Yeah.
He's broke Drake.
Speaking
Yeah,
of,
Drake.
I'm not dressing as Drake for Halloween. I
Oh,
can't.
yeah. I
It's
forgot.
just too much work,
Is
you
it?
know.
Wow, how is that
What
too
do you
much?
do?
I would have to have somebody do my hair, and that's just like not. I'm not
Dude,
for it.
It's like over a month away.
I know. And Cody's like, "What are we gonna do on Halloween night?" I'm like, "It's a month away, dude. Like, I'm down to do whatever." But
I told Dion, I said we should have a little pregame sesh. Go to the freaking the haunted farm, and then find a place to go out afterwards.
The Haunted Farm's whack, isn't it?
and also,
It's better than-
Halloween's on a
it's-
Tuesday, bro. We're not.
I said not.
It's the
no.
weekend. The
I said
weekend before. Yeah, the weekend
I can't
before.
do weekdays.
I was gonna say me either.
I think it's better than Acres of Terror. At least that's what I.
We're not going to. I would not go to Acres of Terror anymore.
That's what I've gathered is that the farm is better than Acres of Terror. So
So, I think I've been to the farm one time.
yeah, the last time I was there was freaking. It was fun.
Mhm.
I have never. I've been disappointed for a while with Acres of Terror.
Me too. I've only been there a couple times, but every time I've been there, it sucks.
Have you seen that? They got that one in Duluth. It's like on a ship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The haunted ship.
that looks
Yeah.
fucking bad.
That would be
looks
really
sweet.
cool.
Yeah. That would be cool. I think when these kids get a little older, I would love to explore different haunted
Yeah,
attractions.
yeah.
Like
The real ones?
Yeah.
When we went to Montana, there's actually like American Horror Stories. They did an episode on this place called Bannock.
Yeah.
And so we went there because we had an extra day.
Yeah.
And we were exploring, and I was like, this is fucking stupid. This is not haunted first off. It wasn't scary at all.
Yeah.
Like, it just was a town, like a
Did
town.
you guys see my post when I was in DC? I went on a freaking haunted, not a tour.
Oh yeah.
I went on a ghost hunt.
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania. It was like this old Civil War freaking place where where a lot of death happened, I guess.
That's what they said here.
Well, this particular area definitely had fucking a lot of Civil War action there for sure.
Yeah.
Because Gettysburg is around that area and everything. Well, we went and toured this place, or we did this ghost hunt. And so there's like freaking 15 of us in this group, right? And this guy, he's explaining all of the different tools that you can use. And one of them is these rods. I don't remember what they're called, but they're like, they have a handle and then the rod sticks out. And they're supposed to move in accordance with like your questions. You could say, open the rods if you're standing right next to me, and the rods will go like this. So he's explaining it, right? And then he asks a question and the rods move. And then he's like, but that was me. And I was like, I was like 100% fucking, oh my God, did you guys see that? Like, we were like shocked that these rods were moving.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh yeah, that was me. And I was like, dude, really?
Would you do a Ouija board?
He just hold on. He just took all the wind out of my sails, right?
Yeah.
So then we get in this fucking house, and there's like 20 people walking around this house, and it's not private.
Like killing the buzz.
Yeah, you can't fucking do anything in there.
Yeah.
And so that was lame as fuck. So then we went over to this school, and it was supposed to be like super, activity there. I actually did get a little bit of activity with the rods. I was holding him still as fuck, asking a question, and they were going back and forth. So whether or not that's legit, I don't know. And there was like this bouncy ball that we had that it lights up when you move it, and it would just like randomly light up after asking questions and stuff.
That's crazy.
But I'm not convinced.
I was gonna say, I'm not convinced either.
I'm not convinced. Like I was 100% like on the fucking, there's ghosts out there. But after doing that ghost hunt, I'm like, dude, this is fucking lame. I need to see more evidence. Like I need to actually see it. I need to I need to fucking see it to believe it now.
Yeah.
But it's speaking of the Ouija board, dude. Yeah, we used to fuck with Ouija board all the time.
You ever have any encounters on that?
We so we did some stupid shit.
Yeah, we've done some shit where we like burned and buried our Ouija boards, bro.
Yeah,
like it was freaky shit.
So
when we were younger, though, who knows back then though if it was real or if it was just us fucking with our own heads,
like with each other.
Like,
you were just getting so fucking confused.
I just remember like crazy shit happening to the point where like we learned like in order to like kill with the curse or whatever was happening, you had to like burn the Ouija board and bury it and shit. And so like. We buried a couple of them in the back of my homie's yard when we were young. Yeah.
So there was this old friggin' this old tale in Wapton Breckenridge, right? It's the story of this little boy named Todd. The story goes, and we have this like really windy, freaky road called Snake Road. Mm-hmm. And the story goes that Todd, this has happened a long time ago, that he was riding his tricycle down the road. And he was hit.
Of course, he got to be on a tricycle. It wouldn't be scary if he wasn't.
Yeah, and he was hit.
Kids scare the shit out of me, bro. First of all,
he was hit and killed, right?
Yeah.
And he was buried at the cemetery that's a little ways down into Snake Road, and so that's been known as Todd's tomb. So what we're gonna do is take the Ouija board, go out to Todd's tomb, and play on top of Todd's tomb. So a group of us have our flashlights. It's pitch black, and we're freaking walking up and down the cemetery trying to find this Todd's tomb, right? We call up one of our friends' dads, and because he knew the story about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you got to go down this this way, and then you'll find it." So we went the exact direction that he told us to. Shined my flashlight on this gravestone, this huge gravestone. All it said on it was Todd. It didn't have a date, didn't have description, just Todd. So we played Ouija board on top of it.
That's so fucked up.
I don't know if my friend was fucking with me, but the cursor did like freaking go off the board.
Yeah. And
then we booked it after that.
It was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's no way you guys were just chilling out there.
No, we were like, let's go. So then we went and we drove up the road, and this is a random fucking deal that happened, but I saw this light out in the field, and I walked out there, and it was a plastic swan wrapped in like Christmas lights that were like somehow must have been solar powered because they were lit up. But it was a plastic swan in a field wrapped with Christmas lights. It was the most random thing ever. And we took it and put it
Great. You guys sound like good kids.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah. And then there was another time we were going to go out and play Ouija board at that same cemetery. The cop pulled us over. And the driver, my friend, the driver, he just spilled the beans. He's like, oh, yeah, we're going to go play Ouija board out in the cemetery. And the cop goes, no. You guys get your ass out of here. So we did. But actually, that cemetery, I wish I could show you guys because it's fucking scary.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone say that before.
I
wish I could show you that cemetery.
This freaking road, like, it is windy as shit. And it's just like, you can just driving through it with the trees, especially like when all the leaves fall, like the trees going through. So the story
is real of the kid.
I don't know. All I know is that we found this tombstone that said Todd. I don't know if the actual story is real. I have no idea. But that gravestone obviously existed.
That's crazy. Yeah, too many scary movies came out about Ouija boards when I was a kid, so no, I did not.
See, I don't fuck with scary movies and shit though.
I love them.
Well, the thing is, it's like
you don't like them or what?
Nah.
Too scary?
I just don't like to fuck with my head like that shit. Yeah. I like to be alone a lot.
Yeah, so you don't want to.
That's true. I fuck with scary movies all the time, and
I do too.
Honestly, like I think my feelings, my scare factor must be numb because there's not very many movies out there nowadays that would scare me.
I get into it.
Yeah, it's not that like I'm watching the movie and I jump and scream and shit. It's
just messes
the thought process that stays in my head after seeing some creepy shit. And it's just like, man.
Well, there's sometimes
I wake up and see my daughter standing down the hallway on my phone.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Shit, you know, like
there's sometimes like I'm in the basement or something and the lights are off and I'll just be like,
he runs up the stairs, all floors.
You fucking run up the stairs. If you don't, you're gonna get fucking.
Well, when we were younger, I don't know if you guys did this. I don't know, Dion, you're still younger, but like we used to look in the mirror and do the Bloody Mary 3 times shit.
Dude,
bro, everyone swears that they seen shit. I never got to see Bloody Mary in my life, man.
My siblings would lock each other in the bathroom.
The shit out of each other with that.
Bloody Mary, from outside the door. Yeah. And I'm sure it was me most of the time. I'd just be bawling, dude. Like, I was like, stop messing around.
I was like, matter of fact, yesterday they got me.
I wonder how that came to be, that tale, Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I remember the story back in the day. I just can't remember what it was now.
That
was a crazy.
That was
a crazy one.
It's after the actual Bloody Mary.
It probably is.
That lady that claimed to murder a bunch of kids and bathe in their blood.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds right.
Yeah.
But I heard that story was actually made up by the townsfolk because
they're all made up.
They didn't like it. They didn't like it.
So
Dion, is there more water down
here's why they fuck with me too. The Bible says that there's no such thing as ghost or purgatory or anything like that, right? So like when I have that belief system and then I think about like ghosts and shit like that, I have to assume they're demons. Right?
Yeah.
And demons scare me more than a fucking ghost of my grandma or some shit would. You know what I mean? But if my grandma shows up in my thought process, I'm like, nah, that's a demon.
Yeah.
That's the devil trying to trick me because the Bible says that there is no such thing as ghosts. There are no such thing as spirits in purgatory. The Bible says, nah, those are demons and the devil has magic too, right? So, but now the fucked up part is that so many people in my family have told stories about ghosts. Like crazy stories about ghosts, right?
Is that a Mexican culture thing? Like
it might have something to do with it. I don't know, I guess. But like one of my aunts specifically, she used to have a ghost that like lived in her house and she would talk to it. She'd wake up in the middle of the night and and see it in her hallway. And she like one time she heard the noise and she woke up and it was like a lady in a dress and it was like a silhouette like of her and she was floating around. And these are dead ass stories that you should tell, right?
I'm about to go stay somewhere else.
She's like I saw this ghost or this woman staring over my daughter's bedroom. She had the door open and was looking at her daughter sleeping, and she like said right away, she was just like, "What are you doing? What do you want?" Or something like that. And the ghost like just turned to her and looked at her and just went away, like disappeared, bro. And so she would see this ghost all the time and she used to talk to it. I'm too like old now to remember like the details of the stories.
Yeah.
But she would tell vivid stories all the time about this lady that lived in their house that was a ghost. All the fucking time, bro.
Couldn't own a gun there. You'd be just shooting the walls.
Fact, I should find this audio, bro. I have audio. So the same aunt who she moved from this house. This house was like in North County in San Diego. They now live in like Temecula. Like, well, not even Temecula. They live in like Murrieta or some shit. So anyway, they have this house that they've lived in there for a couple decades now, probably, right? Big ass house. They say it's always been haunted.
Really?
Like always been haunted, and they've always seen paranormal activity happening in their house. It's the same aunt that knew the ghost, right? And like just a few years ago, look at this spider coming down on Cody's head right here.
What?
There's a spider coming
right next to you.
Fuck! I'm so glad that was on camera,
dude.
Bro.
It was like right here, so it looked fucking huge. It was so close to my eye. It was
tiny,
huge.
by the way.
It was small as low.
Dude, it was small. But
that's gonna be great footage.
Hey,
oh,
dude,
shit.
when it's this close to your face,
yeah, I know.
It was fucking
At least
huge.
it didn't land on your head.
Holy fuck, that was funny.
They got me. Dude, I don't fucking like spiders, though.
That is, I mean, that's fair.
I can handle snakes all day, but spiders, no way.
Yeah, that thing was moving too.
So anyway, let me finish the story, right? So there was just a few years back now. My cousin, he lives in the house now, and his mom moved out, I think. But so he took over the house, and he had some audio that he recorded. And you can hear someone speaking in the middle of the night. Like it's just, he said, it's like the demon that lives there and it's talking. And he sent me this recording because he's like, can you try and edit it in your like software or whatever and try and like bring out the words more or whatever. And I haven't fucked with it yet.
What?
But, yeah. Cause I just don't.
How long ago?
It was years ago.
You still have it?
Yeah.
Dude,
I just gotta find it and I'll throw it on this if I find it.
Yeah.
But like it was dead ass. It was like a recording clip and you can hear like, and he sent it to me because he says like he gets phone calls like that, bro. Like, but there's no caller ID when his phone rings, bro. They've lived in this house forever.
No,
and like I used to stay the night there, like when we lived back, home, and like I'd be partying and shit, bro, at his house because it was like the party spot. They had a big ass house, and I would get spooked in the middle of the night in their house while everyone's crashing out. I'd be all wasted, bro, and I'm just like looking around the house all freaked out thinking I can feel shit and I'm like getting like anxiety about it and I'm like fuck this. Like we would get faded and I'd make sure I had a way home, bro, because I wasn't gonna sleep there.
Yeah,
because that's how spooked out that house was, bro.
Where do they live? In California still?
Yeah, in Paris, California.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Do you think it's so your aunt and her husband, right?
Yeah.
Were they together at the first place?
Yeah.
So do you think it's them?
I don't know. She's never confirmed that. She was very familiar with her.
Isn't it weird that they had?
Oh, I mean, with them, yeah, I don't know. So here, when you say, is it a Mexican thing? I mean, so like her husband is like what we would call like straight up paisa. He's straight from Mexico.
Yeah, and
so that might have something to do with it because they have a lot of weird like shit, from Mexico. Like that they. My mom had a boyfriend one time when we were younger, and that dude like freaked out. He just started like losing his mind one day, and he started like nailing straw crosses all over the house, all over the tops of the doorways, and says that there was a demon haunting him and shit, bro. And he'd be out in the front yard like freaking out.
This is the aunt's boyfriend?
No, this is my mom's boyfriend, who was also like a straight up paisa from Mexico, though. In Mexico, they have all these crazy like ghost stories and tales and like in witchcraft and in like these all the like I don't know what the word I'm looking for, like the belief systems of like what do they call that shit?
I'm not
superstitions.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, they got like hella superstitions around like witchcraft and demons and stuff, bro. So like, it was so Mexicans like
he was nailing fucking straw crosses.
He would take straw and he would like make crosses out of him, and
he said there was a demon in the house
haunting him. She was after him. He ended up fucking like dipping out, bro. We never seen him again.
No shit.
Was he doing drugs though?
I mean, everyone was on drugs back then. But like this fool, like he was probably schizo or some shit.
Yeah.
Me, you know. But like, he just took off.
That's
one day.
wild.
He was outside one day just tripping out, and he just took off running, bro. And he never came back.
No shit.
That's how I remember it anyway. Yeah.
Fuck.
So
I don't mess with that.
Yeah, but this is why I don't like fuck. I don't, you know, like every story I've ever heard, it sounds demonic to me. And since I'm trying to have the belief system of like I don't want people to get the impression that I'm trying to pass myself off as some like hardcore Christian. I'm a believer, you know what I mean? And I've read a lot, you know, I've looked into theology a lot. But man, I'm crap. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to pretend I'm somebody, but because of my belief system that I'm trying to have, I have to believe, like the Bible says, that there's no such thing as ghosts in purgatory, that those are demons. There's only such thing as demons. And that the devil wants you to believe that your grandma will come visit you in your sleep and shit. And it's to trick you, because if you believe in the false, you know.
What was, did you post about it a while ago about that dude that he died and he saw heaven, or he made some comments about heaven? Then I was like, it's real, motherfucker.
But yeah, but remember I told you to read the comments on that when I shared with you guys? Yeah. Because it was a doctor. It was a doctor telling the story about a guy that had died and whatever, right? Yep. But in the comments was that
George Farah.
The prep coach. Yep. And he says, I got a documentary coming out on Netflix on my life. Yeah. He's like, I can't give you a lot of information about what I'm trying to tell you right now, but what I will tell you is that when you do die you do go to heaven, and you will see your loved ones again.
I love hearing that.
That's a good
crazy,
thing.
bro.
That's a good thing.
That's
to hear.
Crazy.
It makes you feel so good.
But it just got you. I want to hear the story now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to hear the story, because I'm a conspiracy theorist and a skeptic. But
I watched a really good YouTube video on it. I'll have to send it to you guys. It's a guy explaining like what he saw when he died for a little bit, and I think his wife was already passed away, and he died on the like in a coma, and they were like, "It's just not your time yet." And he saw multiple like beings, but they weren't people, but he felt like they were his family.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then there was this one father-like figure that came to him that was pretty much like what he assumed would be in charge of all the people.
Yeah.
And he instantly just had an attachment to like, this is the person that takes care of me. And he told me it just is not my time yet. And that one day you'll be able to come back, but people need you down there.
Damn.
And he was like, I don't want to go. Like, I want to stay here with you guys. And then all of a sudden everything just faded out. So
that's trippy.
It's super trippy.
My grandma died of cancer. She was like one of the most like devout like Christians, you know, in my life. That was the person who led my whole family to have some kind of faith or belief in God, right? And so she would, when I say like the kindest soul ever, bro, she was just like that grandma that was legit. She was involved in everything. She read her Bible all day, every day, and she always told stories and stuff. But when she was dying, she was in hospice at my aunt's house, the one who has the haunted house, and that was where she was, you know, spending her final day. She didn't want chemo, none of that. She was like, if it's my time to go be with my God, I'm ready. Well, during the process of her, you know, slow passing, I didn't ever go visit. I have a thing with death too. Like, I don't like to go to funerals and do all that stuff. It's really hard for me. It's just weird to me. But so I never got to see her, but they would all go visit her. Like all of my mom, her brothers and sisters, my cousins, everyone go see my grandma like regularly, because she was right there. And they said one night they were there and she was like gasping for air, and her machine was like getting low on her, and like it was like she was ready to pass. And they said that from her sleep, she raised her hand up in the sky and like was reaching out, and she said, no, not yet. They're not ready. Give me more time. They're not ready. And then put her hand down, bro. And then she came to again and lived a little bit longer even. So like, that's just one story of my grandma, right? So now when we were younger too, she used to tell us stories about when she had all my aunts and uncles, and my mom and all them lived in the house still, and they were all in gangs, right? So my family's all East Siders. They're from East Side Bowling in Baldwin Park. And they had beef with North Siders. That was like who they fought with back in those days, right? So one day, one of my uncles comes home and he tells my grandma, you guys, you got to get out of the house. You got to leave. Like, I got word that the Norteños are coming, the Northsiders, and they're gonna come shoot up the house. Everyone needs to leave, like this and that. We got beef or something. Basically, is how it boils down to. And my grandma was just like fed up with them. First of all, these are her kids, and she's just so fed up with them. So she's all upset, and she's like, "Oh my God!" And she's like praying. She says, "I sat down and I prayed, and I just asked God for some guidance. What do we do? Like I'm tired of running from this and doing all this stuff." And she said she turned on the TV after she was done praying, and it was like the Bible channel or whatever, and there was a scripture on there that said something along the lines of like, "Do not run and hide from your enemies and this and that. Stand your ground." Blah blah. So she said, "I made the decision that I'm gonna stay and defend my home and be with my family or whatever." And so, like, long story short, she says one of my aunts was doing the dishes and she saw something shiny outside the window. And when she looked out, she seen a bunch of Northsiders surrounding the house with guns.
That's crazy.
And so she went and she ran and got my grandma, and she's like, "Oh, they're surrounding the house. They're surrounding the house." So like all the kids, and all my uncles, even, she gathered them all in the living room and started praying and was just like, "God, Lord, please protect us, protect this family, like jam their guns, do something, blah." Like she was just like, these are the words she's telling us. Like she was praying all this stuff. And then all of a sudden they hear dum, 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 dum. She was like, "What the hell?" It sounded like car doors slamming. So she peeked out the window, and they were all getting back in their cars and taking off, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they were surrounding the house with guns in hand. Like my aunt could see them through the kitchen window. They were surrounding the house. They were going to bust in and shoot them up. Like these were how they had wars back then, right? And when she prayed, she said all of a sudden she heard car doors slamming, and they don't know why or what happened. There was never like, they called them and said, "Hey, here's why we left." Like they just did, bro. Like, right. So they don't know the backstory, I guess. But like she said,
we peeked in the window. We saw you praying.
Yeah, they were right there. They could have kicked in doors and shot everybody up, done whatever, gone after whoever they were after out of my uncles there. But instead, they just got back in their cars and dipped. No, that's awesome. No questions asked. Didn't say nothing. So, and she told so many stories like this about like the gang activity that happened at her house when she was growing up, with my uncles and stuff, and how like. Even one time there was a dude hiding in the bushes waiting to kill. He used to date one of my aunts, and he was waiting to kill her new man, who was like our uncle at this point. And she saw him in there. And I can't remember what his name was. It was, they all had their like black offs, like Woody or something shit, So anyway, she saw him, and she kneeled down in the bushes with him. She's like, "What are you doing here?" And he was like, "Oh, get out of here, Miss Palomino. Like, I'm gonna fucking kill this fool. I'm gonna take him out." And she's like, "Why?" And he would just turn to her and just be like, like he would go back and forth. First, he'd be like, "Oh, you've always been a good woman. I really appreciate you. And you're right. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be doing this." Then he'd be like, "Get the fuck away from me, puta. Like, get out of here." She's like, in her opinion, she was like, he would switch from the devil to, being a good person. Then the demon would attack him again. And she's like, she just kept talking to him and praying. And he just got up and walked away. Never did nothing. So like, she just tells all these weird stories, bro, about how like God intervened in her life so much, bro. And so it's like, when you hear stuff like that, and I know there's all kinds of other stories that we've heard about other weird things and phenomenon happening. But when you hear stuff like that, from someone who, in my opinion, is like an honest, sincere person, would never bullshit or tell lies, but she couples it with real life, like gang stories and things that have happened. It's really hard not to be like, man, there is something really there.
It's crazy, especially with like elderly people, not even super old, but people who are able to live in that truth and kind of just absorb everything. And that's like what their main thing is. Yep. Like how well it seems like it goes for them. Like they have that connection. They are communicating and they just feel like this is it. Like my great grandma had passed a few months ago, and she like was all about God. She went to church all the time, always praying, always watching like the Christian shows and stuff like that. Yeah. And when she was passing, she also had cancer. She had some similar situations where she was like just kind of nodding in and out. She was at home. And Nicole and I actually were able to go see her before we went to Colorado. And she was sleeping. We woke her up, which I was like, I got to. This will be the last time. And went and talked to her, and she just was like all there. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. I was really happy to be able to see that. Yeah. And she was just like ready. She was ready to go see her husband, and that's something like we got to feel, like my dad gets to feel like she's home now,
It gives you an understanding. And it's like when you were saying too about how like most old people, like it's just like the older we get, I think the more we realize that it's more real.
It is.
You know what I mean? Because like it's very rare to run into an old person who's not still like a raging alcoholic or druggie or some shit like that, who's not a believer at this point. You know what I mean? So like, I just feel like we should look at that as an example and say, there's gotta be something.
There's something.
Because the older we get, because wisdom comes from time, right? Not from knowledge. Yeah. So the older you get, the wiser you get. And the wiser you get, the more you can see things more clearly. It's why they calm the fuck down as they get older. They're more peaceful about everything. They're not as pent up as we are all the time. And for the most part, they're all believers in some type of religion or godliness of some sort. So it's like,
it's very cool.
We should get on board with that sooner than later. You know what I mean? We might be better off. I don't know. Like my dad used to say the same thing when he was dying of, he was a heroin addict and he had fucking hepatitis and ended up getting like stomach cancer or liver cancer and all this shit. And he used to talk a good game, man. Like he used to be just like, nah, I don't give a fuck. Like I don't want to be too old to take care of myself and someone have to wipe my ass and do it. He's like, I don't want to go out like that. I'd rather go out, now than, so he was just a tough guy. Like, I'm ready to die type shit. But then like when he was on his deathbed, and I didn't get to see him before he died, but like a couple weeks before he died, when I was at his funeral, one of his homeboys, this guy named Turtle, came up to me. I never met him before, but he's just like, hey, he's like, you don't know me. He's like, but Kawao was my homeboy. He's like, and we grew up together and shit. And he's like, I went to see him, on the last couple weeks that he was alive. And he's like, and I just want you to know, like your dad, before he died, he asked me to bring him a Bible. And he said that he read that Bible every day and he prayed and repented every day for the life that he lived. That's awesome. And apologized for not being a better father to you and your brother, and says that he knows he dropped the ball, but like he felt like not being in your lives as much was better for you because of the kind of life he lived. But he gave his life to God and he repented before he died. And I was like, damn. And that, no joke, that, because my dad's death like screwed me up pretty bad. It was like 2011, 2012-ish, right? I was fucked up, bro, from him dying. And then like having that story to hold on to was part of what like pulled me out of it. And that's what, like when I first went and sought God. Yeah. Because to me, I was just like, I was so fucked up over him being gone. And I was like, well, wait a minute. If he really did this and he really found God, he's going to go to heaven or something, then maybe that's all I got to do. And then I could be with him. And so that's when I started like seeking God in my life and shit. And I don't know where I stand in my belief system 100%. I do know I believe that there's something greater out there. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
what was the video of the doctor? What did he say exactly? Do you remember?
I can't recall.
So he said that this guy,
the patient,
that they were working on him, and I can remember the gist of it. He fell out. He was basically clinically dead. Mm-hmm. And there was something in the doctor that was working on him was that like, no, I have to do this. I have to try more for some reason. So they ran him to the operating room and they cut him open, and they're pumping his heart with their finger and doing all this different stuff to him to try to get him to come to. And somehow he came to, but when he came to, he was like, like screaming or some shit, you know what I mean? And then they asked him, I'm losing the memory of it right now as I speak it, but I think he was like, said something about like, what's going on? And the doctors calmed him down or some shit. And he said, I saw the devil. I saw hell is real. Like, and he was freaking out. Whatever the doctor's like, whatever he saw, I don't know, but I told him he's back now. Yeah. But but like essentially like for whatever period of time that he was dead, he saw some real demonic evil shit that scared him so hard it brought him back to life potentially. I don't know.
That would be so scary.
That's some crazy stuff, man.
Or he asked for a second chance, maybe.
Who knows? Yeah. But I don't know. Like, do you get a second chance like that? I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day. I talked about this with Sweeney. Like, people always talk about like life and death and shit. And I was thinking about the only thing that like you can't cheat in life, right? Like life is the one thing you can cheat death though. People cheat death all the time. Right, it happens. That story, that guy cheated death. I mean, but we can't cheat life. You're either living or you're dying. Like your existence here has to be more than just being present, or you're failing at life. There's no cheating. There's no pretending to have a good life when you're not trying, when you're not living, when you're not doing more. You know what I mean? The only thing you can actually cheat is death. So it's so important to start trying to live and start trying to do something with yourself and have some kind of a purpose. Or just, be of something other than just existing. Right. Like existing kills me, bro. I can't stand the thought of just existing. Yeah. And I don't have a desire for fame and popularity because I tried that route and I hated it. And that's what made me run from it. But I have a desire to do something more than just nothing. Yeah. And that's what keeps me like always all over the place doing so many different things.
Well, that's I'm glad you guys brought that up because I actually just recently rewatched Game of Thrones for like the 10th time. And I don't know if you're familiar with it, but Jon Snow is like the main character and he dies and a witch brings him back to life, right? And she asks him, "What did you see? What did you see when you were dead?" And he's like, "Nothing. Absolutely nothing." And that's like terrifying to think about. Like
That would be.
if you're dead, but you're just
But you probably only acknowledge that if you're brought back to life.
That's the thing. That's why I don't know.
Otherwise,
if I'm
like
the
you're not conscious.
nothingness.
You're not conscious.
Yeah, the
right?
nothingness is just nothingness. Is
just
what he
sleeping.
means. Because he's back alive, he can say literally nothing.
Unless you're like you are conscious, like your soul
Yeah, I don't know.
is just floating through fucking nothingness.
It's a
Can
tough
you
call.
imagine though? Like, imagine if purgatory is real.
Yeah.
That's fucked, bro. Like, that's like seriously a fucked up.
But
thought.
what is purgatory?
It's middle
Yeah,
world.
between
you know?
You like watch everything going
between
on,
life
but you
and
don't
death.
do. Yeah.
It's
So-
it's basically being a ghost. Ghosts are within purgatory if you believe in ghosts. Yeah.
And you're waiting your time to.
So, but
be
imagine
chosen,
being
basically.
a ghost. Imagine like
I'd haunt the shit out of people.
imagine trying to find your loved ones, but instead you're scaring the shit out of them
Yeah.
every time you show up, bro.
Hey.
But all you wanted to do was promise.
What if they're
keep
getting
the
their
promise.
if they're getting their cheeks clapped?
You can be like, boo. Kate, why?
I go and tickle the guy's balls.
Yeah, that would be a haunting. That's for sure.
Yeah. He'd probably hate that.
Kate would be single for life. She'd be like, I tried. It's not sentiment. I promise you.
That's the haunting of Big Meat.
They'd be like, Kate's so loyal. She's never been with anyone since Cody.
Yeah.
You're like, I've tried. Trust me. That fucker's still here.
The haunting of Big Meat.
God.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's fucked up, Cody.
Hell yeah.
Well, shit, man. That was just a quick, good conversation,
That was
guys.
good.
Yeah, like we said, sometimes we don't have a lot to talk about, but this is just good energy for us to get it off the chest and have some conversation. So, anything coming up soon? Announcements? Anything that you guys want to talk about?
Well, it sounds like we got some people that want to get on, so we'll see if we can get them on here.
Cool.
Kind of change up the pace a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe garner some topics with them and see how it goes.
Isn't there a bodybuilding show in Minnesota coming up here next week?
Next weekend. The Minnesota State. Phil
Okay.
Heath is a guest appearance
Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
That's next weekend.
next weekend. Yeah, next Saturday.
Are you going to that?
I'm hoping to. I got to print all the shirts for it. So
That one's in Burnsville.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it should be a good show.
Try and get out there. That'd be worth it. Come. If you go, I'll go.
I got NDSU tailgate that we have to do. So
You don't even know anybody on the team anymore.
That's true, but the tailgate is actually really kind of fun.
I know
Yeah,
it is.
I've never
but
been to one.
It's
I gotta
pretty
go to one
lit.
sometime. Yeah.
You
I've
hang
never-
out with the kids, you get drunk, it's a good time.
Yeah.
And then everybody offers you food.
Yeah,
legit.
we actually grill for everybody too.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
It's good people.
Oh, you're talking about with the guard, huh?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we have a tent and everything
Dope.
set up. So
You have a pull-up bar?
no, we don't bring the pole bar. It's just too much work to bring that fucking thing.
I was gonna say I'll come break the record or whatever, but
What's the record?
probably like 20.
Oh, is it?
People are pussies. I don't know.
You can't get 20 pull-ups.
I can do 20 pull-ups for sure.
Bullshit.
I promise you.
I'm gonna fucking call you out in the gym.
These wings are made for flying, baby.
Jesus.
All right, let's go ahead and shut this one down. Do you want to take us out?
I can't now. I'm too lost in my head right now.
All right. Well, anyways, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. We appreciate you guys checking us out. Make sure you tell your friends about us. You can talk good, talk bad, doesn't really matter, so long as you're talking about us.
We
Peace.
are out.